Hi folks, it's Switchback. I've seen it over and over again. I'm shopping for a tent. I've settled on the Durston X-Mid, but I don't know if I want the one person or the two person if it's just me. I own both, so I thought I would share my own experience having been a solo backpacker using both the one person and the two person. Now these are the regular, not the pro, which means that they're not the Dyneema. These are the Sil Poly. So the specifics of that are going to be based on the tents that I have and the dimensions and such that are currently out there. But of course, Dan Durston is always refining his amazing products, so those may change at any time. A lot of this also will be relevant to other one-person versus two-person tents, so hopefully this will help with your decision, even if you're not necessarily looking at an X-Mid. A few things remain the same with both. They both have dual entry and dual vestibules, and the vestibules are the same size on both tents. Also, on my tents, I have exchanged the corner guidelines, and I'll show how I did that up here. Some of the benefits of the one person may be fairly obvious, but I'm going to say them anyway. First, it has a smaller footprint, meaning it takes up less space and therefore can fit into a smaller campsite. It is a little bit lighter. The tent and the sack itself are 807 grams. When it's packed, it's slightly less bulky. You can see the difference here. This is the two person, the one person. You can fit your small dog inside with you. It will be a little bit warmer potentially, which is why I chose it for my snow camping trip. It's just less space to try to keep warm. If you are using it in the snow, it's going to be less snow you have to pack down in order to set up your tent. Some people may be able to store all of their gear inside, but I am not one of those people. I end up with my tent in the vestibule, and some of my gear even stays in the other side of the vestibule, because there's two. So one of the vestibules sometimes has some of my gear. I pack in the other one. Now the two person is going to be, a little bit more roomy, of course, so less claustrophobic if you are someone who is claustrophobic. If it's just you, you can definitely fit your pack inside. You can fit pretty much any dog, even, a Great Pyrenees in there with you. If you're traveling with really bulky gear, like in winter, you have that extra space to move around, take off your gear, put on your gear. Same with if you have a larger body. I have found it can be a little bit tighter in a one person in my body. Having that extra space can be really nice in inclement weather when you may be hunkering down and hanging out inside and waiting for a storm to pass. You have more space to dry out your gear if there is inclement weather, so you can lay it out, etc. You also have more headroom, 48 inches versus 46, and some people have even strung a clothesline inside there. In the two person, you're much less likely to knock over the poles, which is something I personally have done many times in the one person. That being said, I am 100% a bull in a china shop with zero grace. Of course, it's going to weigh a little bit more. The tent and the stuff sack together are 1,020 grams. So the difference in the weight is going to be 213 grams or 7.5 ounces. And that's not insignificant, even if you're not an ultralighter. That said, for me personally, it's worth having that extra space of the two person. If forced to choose, I would go with the two person personally. I bought the one person first, thinking, all of my tents before that were two-person tents. And I was like, okay, well, let me try going with a smaller option. And out of all of the one-person tents out there, it's one of the roomier ones. And so if I'm ever going to adapt to a one-person tent, this is going to be the one. It's definitely more spacious than other one-person tents that I've seen and tried out, although I've never slept in a different one. And of course, going with the one person meant shaving significant weight and bulk. But it has taken some adjustment for me to not knock over the poles, which I definitely did, especially the first couple of times using it and when I used it in the snow in very bulky clothing and such. Whoa, what happened there? Did I pull on my steak? Probably. Yep, sure enough. No. Fully pulled it out that time. This is exhausting. Oh my God. Are you for fucking real right now? Are you for real? Okay, it was just this. It was just the pull. Oh my God, what is happening? The 2-person is more forgiving in space for a slightly larger footprint and a small weight penalty. Also of note, I started using a wide pad this year. I upgraded from my Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite, the women's version, which was a 20-inch wide mummy-shaped pad, to a Nemo Tensor insulated 25-inch rectangular pad. I also bought a Nemo Tensor Extreme 25-inch rectangular pad, and my wife and I have used those together in the 2-person. It's a 52-inch wide tent, and so there is room for 2 wide pads. The 1-person is 32 inches, so you're definitely going to have more room in that alone than you would have with 2 people in the 2-person, if that makes sense. If you're concerned about using a 2-person in a smaller campsite, Dan Durston has an entire video about variations on what's called the skinny pitch. If you'd like to see my reviews of the 1-person and the 2-person X-Mid tents, I have those here for you. I hope that this helps with your decision. Be sure to like and subscribe if you got any value. Thank you so much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.